everybody. Welcome to another Ride Along with Goggles. And today we're south of Sterling, between Sterling and Burlington, Colorado. We got a load of weanlings. I guess that's cattle that are weaned but not yearlings. And we're heading up to Fort Collins, Colorado. Should be pretty nice drive in the winter. And there's work in progress skin here that should be ready real soon. It's the Mack Superliner from Dieling with the Hell Creek skin on it. So, like I say, it's a work in progress. I got a little gap there right at the back corner and a few other little things to touch up, but it's going to look all right, I think. It's kind of interesting on this truck. I don't see a problem with it. Or putting it on here, I think it looks kind of cool. Other than the stripe goes right through the middle of that air cleaner stripe, so I'm not going to try and paint the air cleaners. I'm just going to leave them red. Anyway, let's get moving here. So we got a KaD, what is it called? NDT or DTN? No, END 675, that's it. And from ZMod. And yeah. The lights don't seem to affect it too much when you're out in the toolies. Like, I'm inside, got the lights on, and that's usually the depth of but there's 162. But yeah, when we get around buildings and stuff, it's going to drop. But let's get rolling here. Got 290 miles to go. Get a kick out of the little chuffing that this thing does when you take off. It's kind of interesting, that I was driving the R700 around the other day, and oh, we should be doing this from outside. Look at the size of this feedlot here. It's just ginormous. It's huge. It's funny how this thing chugs off the line. When we get on the road up here, we hang a left on the highway. Or actually, you know what? Just as we get onto this first little stretch of road that goes up to the highway, I'm going to drop the truck's tag axle and see if it has the same effect we got with Rudis Peterbilt, where it really made it want to go straight. It would be kind of realistic with the snow in the road if it was really bad. Well, look at that stutter there. That was a huge one. Other than that, we're getting 160 frames per second. Weird. Let's drop that tag axle. Should really have winter sights on the trailer, but I know we're not really freezing the girls back there, and I hate to cover up all that work I did to make the trailer look bad. That was a huge amount of work. Looks simple enough, but ew. quite the lively little Jake. Didn't seem to be slowing it down much. Hey, I think that's something I bet you I could tweak. I should try that. If I can get into the game files and tweak that. Or the an open def for the engine, yeah. That's an idea. Make it a little more effective, because I didn't see any noticeable slowdown there. Should be able to get a look at this feedlot when we get up the hill here. Get an overall view of it. Oh, not yet. And not even yet. Oh, I guess they've got a cut plane or something between that and us, so we're not going to see it from here. Nope. They hit it. Well, that's probably for the better, I guess, of the performance of the game. Yeah, our weanlings, our load is all over the road here, 61,664 pounds. Well, that's a good little load. Oh, the fella spun his truck out in the snow. Stuck her in the fence. Now look at things that caught fire. Wow, not good. Okay, here's a corner. I'm gonna slow down a bit here. Just, I don't know what this thing's gonna do. Is that tag axle down? If it's gonna steer or not. Oh, it's pretty good. Well, there's another one up here. Let's try it a little faster. Unfortunately, we're on the outside of the road and we got nowhere to go. It starts to get dicey. We're in the rhubarb, as Kenny would say. Oh, yeah. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so try lifting the axle now. That doesn't make any difference. It's not doing anything, Jake. And it's only one stage. Yeah, that would turn a lot better with that lift axle up. So that's what the problem is. So you're going to use it. You just, I guess, got to dial some more weight in on the front end of the truck. Or if you have the option, pick it up when you're getting into some corners. So, as you guys know, I got into this game almost 2 years ago. It was on the. I was just looking around on Steam to see what was what, and looking for new auto racing games because that's what I was into before, and I was kind of getting tired of it. Just be the frantic thing with your tongue out, going nuts, and then being kind of exhausted because I used to really go at it, like I really meant it, and I was looking around on Steam on Boxing Day 2 years ago, and I came across this sale for ATS. It was a big honking sale, had a lot in it. So I threw my money down and got ATS, and wow, look at my racing sim now. Doesn't look like a car racing one anymore. And ended up building this dash panel and just pretty much totally committed to the trucking thing. So I'm kind of toying with the idea. I know a lot of people have said, over the years, that a couple of years, do you have ETS? Get into ETS, and I've been really reluctant. I want to, but the reason I've been reluctant is because I have my hands full with ATS. As soon as I got into the skinning and stuff, it's keeping me busy, and I was worried that, well, next, you get into ETS and there's a whole nother line of work ahead of me. But I was also thinking, like, geez, why not? It might be interesting. Another chance to learn a whole new deal, and yeah, could be fun. I'm gonna do it, I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I try ATS or? I see some of the screenshots that people post on the intro to the Steam, and some of the scenery looks fantastic. But I mean, I've spent all my life driving out here in Western Canada, and it's wide open, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty strange. Well, I hope this isn't an urgent delivery because we're really stuck in some traffic here. So I messed with the steering a little more. It's pretty good. I like what I got right now. So I brought the center at high speed and center at low speed to the left a bit. A little bit more left than I had it. And I brought the gain down a little bit. And oh, there was something else. Let's see. What else was it? Oh, we're gonna pull in. That was close. $100,577. Look at that guy thread the needle there. That's really good for AI. And this guy too, is he going to get in? Wow, that's amazing. Look at all those John Deeres. 3 tractors and a harvester. So, yeah, speaking of the steering, I saw an interesting, I don't know if anybody watches Twin Stick Garage. It's a dude, a truck enthusiast up here, not too far from Calgary. And he's restored a couple semis. One of them is a Peterbilt 359 with twin sticks. I guess that's why he's a Twin Stick fan, so I guess that's why he calls his channel Twin Stick Garage. But he also did a W900A Kenny, and it's a Bandit tribute truck. Oh, are we turning it? Yeah, we are. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. But I think he's got a 13 speed in it. Yeah, he does. Yeah. He showed how to go from this style shifter to a few weeks ago, how to put the old style round shifter with the range and splitter all on a rotary switch here on the left side, not a range up down like we have with the more modern transmissions. But anyway, getting back to the reason, it's all about steering. And remember how I've talked in the past about how these things, big trucks, steer really well. And not like the cartoons or cartoony movies where you got the guy bouncing up and down and sawing at the wheel. And he was doing one of his things where he goes around the Ritchie Brothers auction. I mean, they've got hundreds and hundreds of trucks on auction every time they have one. And there's all kinds of things. So he goes and looks at interesting trucks and hops in them and starts them up if they have keys or whatever, and we'll go and looks at them. But it's generally vintage stuff he's looking at, like old Peterbilts and Kenworths and Freightliners and whatever he can find. And on this episode, he found an old Pete 359, and it had the boosted steering that, if any of you are familiar with the old first and second generation Mustangs and the first gen Cougars, I don't know how many other cars had this, but they did, because I owned some of those, so I know. And you have your steering rack, and it's got a hydraulic cylinder that boosts the steering, and it's valved by your steering box and what you're doing with it. And oh darn it, I went for a gear that I'm not going to get. Got carried away there thinking I had another gear. So anyway, long story short, this Peterbilt, on the end of the pitman arm, where it would go forward to steer the left knuckle and the drag link across, on that steering arm it had a hydraulic cylinder on it. And he said, oh, look at this is kind of cool, watch this. So he started the truck up, hops in the truck, and he said, it's parked, it's dead still. And he was turning the steering wheel with just one finger, parked on the frozen ground. Like, that was pretty cool. Goes to show you how, and I guess my point is, what I'm trying to say is, that level of boost on the steering, it's you're not going to feel a whole lot of bumps in the road, because that level of boost, you have to overcome that power with a bump to feel it back up through the steering system and into the steering wheel. And that's what I found so objectionable with when you're driving on a dirt road and your steering wheel's going like this. Because if you have power steering, that's not happening. So, yeah, it just really drives the point home when you see that video. But he's an interesting guy. Did try and get a photo of the trailer. Yeah, speaking of the trailer, there's 3 of the fellas so far that have subscribed to this skin on Steam for the trailer having problems. But there's like 150 that aren't, so I'm kind of wondering, has anybody had problems with the skin? Excuse me, what they're saying is they can paint the sides, but they don't get anything for the back, and they don't get the light box on the front. And I don't know how that is. If anybody's having problems, please, comment. I'd like to get to the bottom of that. But I have a sneaking suspicion it could be that they have the 359 skin with the old Bart in it, and they may have the new skin below that in the mod order. If you have Bart's, the FLX 359 skin for Hell Creek, and you put this skin above it in the mod order, it shouldn't matter. I actually tested that, and I also tested this skin in this profile. So this is my Mack profile. It's never had a Hell Creek. Oh, did I miss something there? I did. Ooh, I wonder if I can turn right up here. It looks like I can. But anyway, yeah, this skin has never had anything to do with Hell Creek in it, and no other skins, nothing. And so I put the trailer in here, and the skin to test it was going to work, just to make sure there was no hangover from the 359 skins or the 389 skins, and it all seemed to be okay. Uh-oh. Is he coming this way? Don't want to take a chance. Oh, he's over there. Okay. I've had gotten a chop from these railroad things before. We're gonna keep. We would have got a ticket by now. Oh, rats. This has got to be us here. Here we go. People out talking on the sidewalk in their sweaters. Don't they know it's winter? Oh yeah, today's officially the first day of winter. Or I guess yesterday when you're watching this. I guess it depends where you are in the world too. Wow, there's a big hiccup. I think we're gonna have to get in the left lane. Oh yeah, right here. Oops, next light. Oh, I'm just coming here. Sorry guys, I'm confused. Yeah, you think I get lost in ATS? I can imagine me in ETS. That's gonna be a nightmare. What all this bobbing around is about here? Well, and you know what? It seems to me we've done this whole thing without a voice navigator. Wow. Can't see flying around Europe without one. Okay. Kind of knew that's where it would be. Oh no, they got some load of hay parked in an inconvenient place. But I think we'll be okay. Just sort of duck over into here a little bit. Really work at getting the back end of the trailer over as much as we can. Funny how the trailer doesn't seem to kick up any dust or snow. Well, yeah, I think I'll finish up this skin and maybe do a little more work on it tonight, and maybe I can have it done for the day you're watching this video. In case we got any Mack fans out there, and I'm sure there's some. I had to end the skin at the Superliner emblem because it wouldn't go all the way around the front in the template. It would just sort of stop halfway around that corner, so I just chopped them off at the logo. Anyway, work in progress. Yeah, it seems that's the name of the game lately, eh? Work in progress. That's what we did with these little ones. 290 miles, 62 gallons. Yeah, that's pretty par for the course. Not bad. Maybe a teeny bit above average. So as always, guys, I appreciate the heck out of you. And yeah, I hope you're getting ready for Christmas and it's not all too big a drag and chore and hassle and things are going okay. And the other thing, for not just the folks here in North America, but the weather. It's some funny stuff going on all around the world right now. And well, it's not everywhere, but there's a lot of it. And this time of year tends to be pretty unstable. So for those of you afflicted by some bad weather and some disastrous weather in cases, you know, we're all rooting for you, and I'm sure every one of us thinks of the other when you get these news reports and of this calamities that go on, and just rotten time of year to have things like that happen. And just know that we're all pulling for you, and you know we're all in it together, as Red Green used to say. And anyway, take care, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.